Oh my, you folks are in for an interesting story today. This motorcycle was never intended to be what it is today, by no means whatsoever. And when you see what it came from, it's even more amazing. This is what she looked like the day I brought her home. And believe me, it looked much rougher in person. The tank had a couple significant dents in it. There was oxidation all over the bike. The top end needed rebuilt. But of course, the first thing I start doing is chopping it up, making some kind of crazy custom bike out of the thing. Got that all taken care of. Also rebuilt the motor while I was there, cleaned that up and painted it. And here it's starting to take a little shape. It was coming along really good. But then it was time to move on to conquer that tank and get that thing straightened out. It was a lot of work, some big dents in there. But I persevered, worked hard, and got it all straightened out, and voila. Then I get my shop, and I was able to transport it over to my shop and really start getting serious about it. I threw on this cool, low-budget paint job. Turned out real nice before, of course, I let it sit forever. Then it was time to clean the carbs up, rebuild them, and get them to match the bike. So I got them painted up same color, and, well, you know the rest. Welcome to Dragon Works, folks. Back on the 1979 Suzuki GS850 Brat project. We got a bunch of stuff to go over. It's all awesome. I know people love these Suzuki GS models from all sizes. Anytime I post something Suzuki GS, everybody tells me about what they had, or their dad, or their uncle, or the guy down the street. It's just a very familiar motorcycle to a lot of people, very nostalgic and sentimental and some other things. This one's awesome. There is a lot of cool stuff about this bike that we're going to go over. Hey, so let's dive right in, right? Hey, first, the obvious thing you're noticing is it might look a little different from the last video. And in the last video, if you haven't seen it, I did a first start. Now, it's not technically the first start. It's just the first start in a long time because I once again neglected this beautiful project. And I kind of had it mothballed in the back, on the back burner, all that kind of stuff. And just like everybody else, time gets away from you. And next thing you know, boom, years have gone by. But yes, you can see it looks a little different. I got the tank on, the seat on, and I actually started cleaning the tank up, and that's some of the stuff we're going to go over. I really screwed myself on letting this thing sit because now I've got a bunch of hard elbow grease work to do to get this thing back where it needs to be. So let's get started, shall we? So you can kind of see here, and I'll better show you on the other side. This all has like a haze on it. And what this is just years of dirt, grime, humidity, overspray, whatever this thing, the environment it was in for the last 4 or 5 years is on this bike. And you can see here where I started cleaning it up a little bit. There's my haze line. Let me show you on the other side what I'm talking about. All right, now you can really see it on this side. See how this thing looks like it's got a haze all over it? Because it does. And it does not come off very easy without, damaging the paint. So once upon a time, this whole bike was super, super shiny when I first got it done. And then years of neglect has turned it into this. So I've got to get all this stuff cleaned back off and everything to get it back to looking like it was. But we got a lot more to do than just that. So let's go over that stuff. So when I got this bike, it was pretty rough. It had a bunch of damage to the tank, and the pipes didn't look that great. So that's when I decided that I was going to go ahead and do some wrap on it. Just kind of make it look cool and cover up the ugly. Now, the wrapping is basically temporary at this point, so I can get the pipes on, and then I can loosen it back up, get it how I like it, then fasten it down. I did intend for it to go over this clamp and that clamp. So this here is also just been temporary. Now, unfortunately, there's another, well, not unfortunately is the way it is. There's another pipe right there that's wrapped that comes into it. Makes it a little bit difficult. So that's kind of why it looks like that. But I intend here real soon to unwrap this and wrap it up so it looks halfway decent. And like I say, I meant bring it up around that clamp there just a little bit. And once again, I never intended to put these pipes on here either. These were the stock pipes, and I was going to get something really cool. And then, well, one thing led to another. The project got out of hand, and by the time I got to that, I'm like, okay, I'm just putting them on there to get it finished and keep the cost down. All right, let's not get too ahead of ourselves here. Let's back up a little bit. The main reason this bike has been neglected for years is it's all their fault. Them damn carburetors, I don't care what bike it's on, these Mikuni VM carburetors have been nothing but trouble for me my entire life. I don't know if it's just me or the carbs, but it doesn't matter if it's this bike or that bike over there or a KZ900. No matter what bike I get that has these damn VM carbs, they always end up giving me trouble. Main thing I find is you cannot get the original gaskets, and the bowl gaskets always end up leaking on these. And also they came with, the metal needles and seat, and they tend to leak quite a bit. And so I've been battling that for years. And I ended up making my own gaskets for it. Then I tested them, and they were fine, not leaking. And then I got busy again, and they sat over there on the shelf for another 3 months or so. So when I put them on, the bowls aren't leaking, but they were overflowing a little bit. So I'm going to run some Marvel Mystery Oil through there, see if they'll clear up without having to take them back apart again or whatever. But anyway, that is the main reason this poor project has been getting neglected for years and years. I mean, the idea ended up being about a low-cost, cool-looking bike that somebody can afford without having a whole bunch of money into it. And the same thing for me. Once I figured out that it was going to need a lot more work than a flip, that's when we kind of turned it into what it is today. Let's get it back down where we can get a good look at it. All right, that's better. Now you can see the tank there a little bit better. I named it the Stinger. Thought that was a cool name. I just came up with a little design there, and then I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. So then I didn't clean this up yet, but then I ended up making a fender. Hold on, let me get a light. All right, we'll just peek through here. So then I took the original fender and cut it into a point and put the same design on the front fender. And we're going to get all this cleaned up, folks. I bobbed it off here. I wanted as much of this aggressive tire showing as I could. Back when I started this project 5 years ago, that was really, really hot. And I just thought it looked cool. Now it's everywhere, of course. Well, that was before my official unveiling of it. So everybody's already got it out there now. While we're right here, I still got to get the turn signals on the back. They're going to be turn signal and stoplight, just something small. And the bracket goes here. That's why that's not finished up. These covers, as you can see, the covers were damaged. This one actually looked like it had been melted. The other side had a crack. So being I had to do a bunch of work to it, I ended up cutting them down so they were low profile. They're thinner. It's going to get a weather strip that goes around it, a rubber weather strip. There we go. And they just get zip tied on. It's simple as that. It's just finding inexpensive solutions to problems that I came across along the way. And like I said, trying to keep the cost down. That was the whole idea of this thing for me and for the next guy. Yeah, because I've always struggled with, was I keeping it? Was I selling it? Or what have you? But the initial intent for this bike was to be a flip so I could get money, buy another bike, do another flip, and so on and so on. And then the thing just got a little out of hand. And then it got neglected, and I ran into trouble. And then, well, here we are all these years later, and I've got to get to it. Front turn signals are in the headlight. Just one of these Amazon headlights here. I got to turn it a little bit, but headlight, and then the turn signals are right here on the front. So then you have no blinkers or anything hanging off the bars and what have you. And I just threw on some like motocross type bars here. But yeah, that's should start to make a little sense. Some of you probably been looking at it going, why are the pipes all wrapped funny looking and not that good? Because that's just temporary. I got to get that. But now we're at this point. I need to put it out of the way for a little bit. And I got a bunch of other projects that I'm working on too. I probably got 10 bikes that I need to get done in a couple months. And some of them are way from being close to being finished. So yeah, I still got a little bit of work to do to button it up. Not a lot. I mean, it's pretty close. I got a lot of detailing to do. But for now, I'm basically going to have to put it to the side once again for a little bit. But this time I'll keep it running and I'll slowly keep polishing on it and getting these things done so it's ready by spring when the motorcycle market is hot. And then we'll grab another one and we'll do it again. All right, folks, I know this is a little bit choppy maybe, but I'm trying to make this video and get stuff done at the same time. And yeah, my brain's elsewhere all the time, already working on the next bike. So got to get going. Thanks for watching. Peace out.